Hi, this is Ms. Cliffner with your lesson video for today. It's about making a box and whiskers plot. So this is what we're going to practice, and then later on you'll get some homework about box and whiskers, but not today. Okay, so let's fill in some information. So a box and whisker plot, box and whisker plot, represents a data set along a number line by using the least value, the greatest value, and the quartiles. You haven't learned about quartiles yet, but hopefully you're thinking about the word quarter. And a quartile breaks up the data into 4 different pieces. I'm going to put this in blue, so don't write it down. But you're going to see that this is 1/4 of the data. There's another 1/4 of the data, a 1/4 of the data, and a 1/4 of the data. So basically, you're taking the pieces of information that you have from a survey and you're putting it into separate groups. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and erase that now. Okay, so here's what we need to fill in, the 5 numbers that you need. So the 5 numbers that make up the box and whisker plot are called the 5-number summary. Oops, let me do that in blue. It is the 5-number summary of the data set. And here's the 5 things that you need. You need the minimum, right? The smallest number in the data set. You need the maximum, which is the largest number in the data set. This is called Q1. Yeah, I haven't taught you how to find that yet. This one's called Q2, but you know this is the median of a data set, which you know how to find. And this one is called Q3. So basically there's the lower quarter, there's the middle half, and then there's the upper quarter. Okay, so now let's turn the notes over, and I labeled some steps. Oh, this is what you've already filled in. So I just want you to see that some people just call it the first quartile, but basically this point here is going to be Q1. This is going to be Q2, and this is Q3. Now you're also going to notice that this is a number line, right? There aren't any numbers there yet, but you definitely want to look at the least value here and the greatest value here, and you would start by making a number line that's evenly spaced. Okay, so here we go. Here's all of my steps. I'm going to move this over to here. So to make a box and whisker plot, you need 5 values. These are the 5 values that you need. You're going to list numbers in order from least to greatest. And of course, the minimum is the least number. The maximum is the greatest. And then you know this already. You cross off from left to right to find the middle. So Q2 is the median. But now here's what gets kind of fun. The median separates the lower half of the numbers from the upper half. And then what you're going to be doing is you're going to be finding 2 more medians. Q1 is the median of the lower half, and I'm just going to go ahead and circle lower half. And Q3 is the median of the upper half. So really what you're doing is you're finding the median 3 different times. So you want to make a number line that starts with the minimum and ends with the maximum. You're going to plot the 5 points that are on the number line, and then you connect the first 2 points. It makes the whiskers, and the last 2 points makes the other side of the whiskers. And then I'm going to show you how to draw short vertical lines through the 3 middle points. Those are going to make up it makes up the, am I missing the word box there? It makes up the box. I got to move this. There we go. It makes up the box. And then the median is inside the box. It's not always in the middle of the box though. So let's take a look. Okay, so here's an example, right? So here's some fun looking spider monkeys, and this is how old they are at the zoo. So there's all the random age numbers, and I was just going to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So because there's 12 numbers, I want to remind you that there's an even number of numbers. So that means there's going to be 2 middle numbers when you find the median, right? So 2 are going to be in the middle. So here are my numbers that I have ordered. Oops, let's just get rid of that. I ordered the numbers from least to greatest. So already I know the minimum is 14-year-old monkey, and the oldest is a 38-year-old. So that's the first 2 numbers that I have. And then remember, so here's what I'm going to ask you to use a highlighter. You're probably going to want to get 2 colors. So what I do first is I use a highlighter, kind of a lighter colored highlighter, and I highlight going from left to right, right? One number, only take one step at a time. And I'm going to find the 2 numbers in the middle. Okay, well, this time the 2 numbers in the middle are both 30. That just means there's no number in between them. So that means, oops, I did that wrong on this. That means the number in the middle is 30. So the median, right? So Q2, this is the median, that's 30. I did this wrong when I filled out the numbers. Sorry about that. Okay, so now I have the minimum, the maximum, and this is the median. I'm just going to put this underneath, right? Just so you remember that this was just how we found the median. So now the next thing I need to do is, because there are an even number of numbers, I'm going to divide the data set in half. So now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 numbers in the lower half, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 numbers in the upper half. I'm going to get another highlighter, and this time I'm going to find the middle of the lower set of the data. So I cross off the 14, cross off the 30. This is why I'm using a second color highlighter. Cross off the 15, cross off the 27. So now I'm left with 20 and 26. Now remember what I said is if you can picture the middle number of 20 and 26, which I can kind of picture right here on this number line, right? I think it's 23, but the other way to figure out the middle of 2 numbers is to add them and divide by 2. So if you can't picture where the middle is on a number line, you add the 2 numbers and divide it. That's kind of like splitting it in the middle. So I get 23. So 23 would be the number right in between. So 23 is called the Q1. It is the middle of the lower half. And then I need to get my highlighter again. And now I need to find the middle, the median of the upper half, right? So it's the middle of the upper half of the monkey's ages. And then this one's a little bit easier to picture, right? What's right in the middle between 33 and 35? It's 34. So now that I have my 5 numbers, this is kind of the fun part where I'm going to be putting these dots up above the number line, right? I don't want to go on the number line because this box and whiskers is a little picture that's going to be above it. So there's my minimum number. There was my maximum. And then notice that this number line just skip counts by 2, right? Started with 14 because that's the youngest monkey and ends with 38 because that's the oldest. Okay, and now I need to do the median. So the median was right here. And then 23, I can just kind of make a little dot there. I don't have to put the 23, but it's sometimes helpful. And then the Q3 is at 34. So here we go. Now here's what you want to do. Notice that this data is really spread out, right? The younger monkeys there's a lot of difference between the ages. So this is a very long whisker. And then you take the last 2 points and you connect those. And then to make the box in the middle, I just go 1, 2, 3, make 3 little vertical lines. And then I draw the top of the box and the bottom of the box. So this is called a box and whiskers. And I want you to know that the median, notice it's not in the middle, right? It's inside the box, but it's not halfway in between. The median is literally the middle number of the data set. So now all this, I can tell that there's a lot of spread in the monkeys' ages who are younger. So there's not very many younger monkeys, right? Like because this is smaller, I know there's a lot more monkeys who are 30 and over. Right? So the further spread out it is, that means there's more difference between the ages. Okay, so now let's do one more. This is your OYO to try. So this has to do with a group of friends, right? So they spent some time online last night and they recorded the amount of time that they spent online on their phones. And you're going to make a box and whisker plot for the data. So now I'm going to look at the numbers just to count the numbers to see if I have an even number or an odd number. You should pause the video and try this on your own. I do notice on my number line that it goes from 0 to 6. So I'm going to make this a 0. I think I can just count by ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so now there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 numbers in the data set. So I'm going to start by listing the 2 zeros. Okay, there's the 2 zeros, and I like to cross them off so I don't make mistakes. And then I see 3 ones. So I got a 1, 2, 3. Cross those off. And then I have 1, 2, 3 twos. 2, 2, 2. And then I have 2 threes. So there's a 3 and a 3. I have a 4 and a 6. Okay, so now that I have all my numbers listed, I'm going to start by first listing the minimum. One of the friends didn't spend any time on their phone last night, but somebody spent 6 hours maximum. Now I'm going to find the numbers in the middle. The next thing I do is I find the Q2. So I have to find the median first, right? So I cross off the 0, the 6, the 0, the 4, the 1, and 3, crossing off one number at a time. All right, if there's 2 2s left in the middle, then I know there's nothing in between 2s. So 2 is the median. And now I'm going to divide the data in half. And I'm going to use a different color highlighter. And this time I'm going to find the middle of the lower set of the data, which also has 2 of the same numbers. It's 1 and 1. So the middle of 1 and 1 is just 1. And now I'm going to find I'm going to do my cross off the other direction. And this one also has a repeat. There's 2 3s in the middle. So I know that this Q3 is 3. So my 5 numbers are minimum 0, maximum 6. The median is at 2. The Q1, this is the first quarter. And then I have Q3 is at 3. So remember, the first 2 dots are connected for Whiskers. So this tells me that not very many students spent more than 3 hours, right? It's pretty spread out. The longer the whisker, the more spread out the data is. And then I do this 1, 2, 3, and I create the box on the top and the box on the bottom. Okay, so now I can start asking you questions. Like if I know there's 12 people and I can ask you, I'm going to put this in blue. You don't have to copy this down. But if I asked you like, what percent of the students, right? What percent spent 2 hours or less, right? So I look at the people who are right at the 2, or maybe I'll just say less than 2, who spent less than 2 hours, okay? The people who spent less than 2 hours are all of this and this, but each one of these sections represent 25% of the numbers, right? So because it's quartiles and it's broken up into 4 pieces, I know that about half of the students spent less than 2 hours. So I can start asking you about percentages and sort of trying to analyze the data. Okay, that's it for the box and whiskers plot. We'll do some more tomorrow.